This video right here, it's an example of what an augmented reality would look like. Well, you can do that with a smartphone or a camera, but I'll be talking about a virtual reality. Virtual reality gives you a more immersive experience, and that's what I'll be talking about on this video. Basically, I'll be talking about the metaverse on this video. Lately, there has been a buzz about the metaverse, and it happened after Mark Zuckerberg made this announcement.
Starting today, our company is now Meta.
Well, we've been talking a lot about the metaverse and what
there could possibly be in a metaverse.
We're speaking through the metaverse.
A metaverse.
The metaverse.
Metaverse.
The metaverse.
The metaverse.
So the metaverse, everybody is talking about the metaverse, and people are also wondering, some people are wondering what the metaverse is all about. What does it mean? How does the metaverse benefit me? What's in it for me? What does it mean? So on this video, I'm going to demystify what the metaverse is all about. Subsequently, I will actually be doing a lot of videos about the metaverse relating to real estate, land purchases, and all of that. But I thought to do a comprehensive introduction of what the metaverse is all about. So if you're new on this channel, I'd like you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon so that when I release a new video, you'll be notified and you won't miss any of the content I'll be releasing. But on this very video, which I believe is going to be long, so I'm going to be dropping a timeline right here, so I would like you to you can stream to the part that interests you, but then you can also sit back, relax, and just enjoy, get educated and learn, and just help yourself find out what the metaverse is all about, as I'll be sharing on this video. So don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and then subscribe, hitting the notification bell, of course, so that you would get notified each time I drop a new video. So, well, on this video I'll be talking about what the metaverse is all about, how it affects us, how it impacts us, how it affects our daily living already, what we have already. Our world, isn't the world perfect? Why do we need the metaverse? What role does it play in our lives, in our daily living already? And then questions, I'll be answering some questions I believe a lot of people might be pondering, or some assumptions and suspicions. Like, I would answer all of those questions. And then, who are stakeholders? We are all stakeholders in the metaverse. So possible job opportunities on the metaverse, investment opportunities on the metaverse, what money looks like on the metaverse. All this and more I'll be sharing with you on this video. So sit tight as we get into it. Well, in case you're wondering what the metaverse is an immersive virtual reality version of the internet where people can interact with digital objects and digital representations of themselves, and can move from one virtual environment to another. Meaning, just the way you can travel from, say, South Africa to Canada, you can do that as well in the metaverse. Yes, so on different metaverse platforms, you can actually navigate your way to a different metaverse platform. So that's what this means. So just the way I would like to see it this way, that the metaverse is a replication of our physical world. Just the way you have people having homes, people going to work, people going to places to socialize, people going to place to just hang out with friends, and all of that is the same thing we're going to have on the metaverse. But of course, there are little changes. It's a digital environment, it's a digital ecosystem, so that makes it a little bit different from what we have on the physical world. So basically, that's what the metaverse is all about. It's just an immersive virtual reality version of the internet where people can interact with digital objects and digital representations of themselves. Yes, that's the avatar now. You're going to have an avatar, and that avatar is a representation of you on the metaverse. So the metaverse is not actually a new concept. efforts have been ongoing for decades. For example, in 2003, a San Francisco-based lab released what they called a Second Life. Second Life is like a game where people can actually create an avatar and build a second life in an online world, just the way I explained earlier. So, but in real life, during the COVID-19 pandemic, humanity has really taken its first step in this direction, with education migrating online and video meetings supplanting business travels around the world at a magnitude never imagined before. So I would say the COVID-19 pandemic kind of hastened the process, the realization of the metaverse, really. Yes, because the online classes you've been taking as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the online meetings, online presentations, webinars and all of that as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic was actually brought to bear by the COVID-19 pandemic, but it kind of hastened the realization of the metaverse. So basically that's the metaverse is, that sums up what the metaverse is all about. So impact analysis, like how does this impact us? Because if we're saying that this is a replica of what we have in the physical world, so how do we now have another life, a digital life on a digital platform, and then we have another one on the physical? How does that affect us? Of course, it's going to affect the way we work, the way we do businesses, commerce, and then the way we socialize, sports, games, and all of that are featured on the metaverse. So how do they affect us? So the way we live, actually, right? So we have let me take for instance the way we work. You're going to have online presentations, online meetings, webinars, and all of that. So you might have a presentation in Canada. You might not really want to travel to Canada. You can do your presentation while you're here in South Africa, or wherever you are, at whatever part of the world you are. You can actually do your presentations, you can do your webinars, and have an immersive experience. It's not just the way we have it on Zoom, Facebook, or Google Meet. No, it's going to be more immersive. So you're going to have like a physical presence, right? So it's also going to affect the way we socialize. Right now we can video chat, we can chat naturally, and then we can call chat, but then we can actually be together on the metaverse. Yes, we can hang out, we could go clubbing on the metaverse. So it's kind of have this way of really altering the way we live. So, and then of course it has its pros and cons. So working in the metaverse would actually change. That's the truth. That's the new reality, that we might not really have to do a lot of 8 to 5 jobs, you know, so people can actually work from their home on their pajamas. Yes, so the metaverse, realization of the metaverse is actually going to affect how we work. And then commerce is going to be an awesome, like, I can't really wait for these experiences, you know. It's just awesome. You know, you can actually have your products displayed so your customers can see it, can have a tangible impression of your product before they even place a buy order. So the metaverse is going to it's going to avail us that opportunity. How we socialize, usually you video chat and you do all of that, but then right now you can hang out with friends, you can go clubbing with friends, you can spend time with friends, your friends on Facebook, for example. You might have the opportunity to really hang out with them. Then sports and then games in the metaverse, all of this are actually going to be affected by the realization of the metaverse, and I think it's good. I think for me, I believe it's actually an awesome invention, and it's going to go a long way making things more exciting. So who really owns the metaverse? You would want to ask, who owns the metaverse? So Just as no one truly owns the internet, no one person or company owns the metaverse, because there are companies and people who hold massive sway and contribute more to its maintenance and creation than any other company. So no one person would actually say he owns the metaverse, and that's why as at present right now we have about 7 metaverse platforms, which I'll be listing subsequently. Very soon I'll be listing all of those metaverse platforms. So there's no one person that would actually say he or she owns the metaverse, right? Yes, we are all creators of the metaverse. Essentially, that's the truth. The most crucial factor for creating an elaborate visual universe is starting at this very screen right now. So like, this is the infancy stage of the metaverse. Yes, if you can just however you want to imagine it, just imagine if this is at like at this rate, the metaverse, I mean, people are already buying lands, which I'll talk about shortly. People are buying lands, people are building houses, people are already doing things on the metaverse, and then this is just a baby stage of the metaverse. So imagine 10-20 years from now, it's going to be something else. So like, I actually forgot to, if you have seen the movie Ready Player One, Ready Player One kind of explains what the metaverse is all about. You can see how the physical world was then. So, but then almost everybody had consolation as soon as they step into the virtual world, they step into the virtual reality, you know. So the movie Ready Player One kind of explains what the metaverse is all about. Yes. So we are all stakeholders, like I said earlier, in building the metaverse. So if we can say that no one person or no one company actually owns the metaverse, so it means that everyone is a stakeholder. For me, it's a platform that actually is for creatives. Yes, so you can see on this, you can see experience, discovery, creator economy, spatial computing, decentralization, human interface, infrastructure. So, and then you can see all of these games, social, esports, theater, shopping, and then design tools, and all of these things. It just tells you that the way the human body is, you know, their arms, their eyes, their legs, and then head, and in general, so also the metaverse is, it has different layers, and that is where everyone comes in. All of these skilled professionals would come in to contribute their own quota, and that is what makes the metaverse. So everyone is involved in building the metaverse, right? Job opportunities. So if we're going to replicate what we have in the physical in the metaverse, right, we're going to also have job opportunities for people. There's going to be a need for creators, community builders, participants, bridges, performers. And then you're going to see that in creators, for example, you're going to see their needs for artists, modelers, dialogue writers, mocap characters, designers, composers, videographers, fashion designers, and a lot of artists are already, even non-artists are already making monies creating NFTs and selling them in thousands of dollars. People making millions already creating items and elements in the metaverse. So you can see that already that it's a platform that creates opportunity for a lot of people, and your audience is no longer limited to your community, no longer limited to your country, but your audience is the whole world. So I believe looking at this, I think it's wise for every creative to carve out a place for himself, him or herself, on the metaverse space. So who then is building the metaverse? I mentioned earlier, no one person can actually say, or a company can say they own the metaverse. So, and then these are also companies, metaverse platforms already that are existing. The metaverse as a technology segment has come in its own in the last 2 years, fueled by investments from companies like Meta Platforms, Microsoft, Epic Games, and others. So we already, like I said earlier, we have 7 metaverse platforms already. Number one is Decentraland, Sandbox, CryptoVoxels, Somnium Space, Roblox, Blocktopia, and then Meta. So if you're new to the whole metaverse concept, you should know that there are 7 metaverse platforms, and I believe this is just the beginning. I think by 2030 we'll be talking about a quadruple of this number. Yes, because a lot of people like Shiba Inu, the creators of Shiba Inu are already having a project. They call it Shipverse. So they are also working on they're also working on their own metaverse platform, and we have a lot of company investing heavily in the metaverse project already. So everyone is trying to carve out a place for him or herself. Companies and individuals taking their part in the metaverse, right? So all of these 7 metaverse platforms I mentioned, they all have their own peculiarity. They have little things that makes them unique, that makes them stand out. It's just like services rendered, or I would like to put it this way, that let me use countries for example. In Africa, when you mention diamonds, there are countries you would actually point to. When you mention crude oil, there are countries you point to. When you mention gold, there are countries you would point to. So it's the same thing. It's just, that's an example I was actually using. So but it's the same thing. Like for Decentraland, it's a space where users can create content, interact with one another, and earn money primarily through investments in non-fungible tokens, VR estates, VR real estate, and other digital assets. And then Sandbox, for example, Sandbox also is a place where users can create games, participate in events, navigate VR worlds using maps, and purchase lands. Similar to Decentraland, it also has its own cryptocurrency token called Sand. By the way, the cryptocurrency token for Decentraland is called Mana. And then CryptoVoxels, one can actually create metaverse real estate on this platform and put it up for sale. That's on CryptoVoxels now, including empty land parcels and prefabricated buildings such as harbors, streets, collaboration spaces, and art galleries. Somnium Space is my favorite right now. Somnium Space, I just love Somnium Space because on Somnium Space, users can access through virtual reality, VR. They can access through like that's a VR headset. They can access through personal computers. They can access through webs and mobile interfaces. So you might not have the hardwares to access the Somnium Space Metaverse platform, but you can actually access the Metaverse platform through all of these mediums I mentioned. It's built on the Ethereum and Solana blockchain protocols and has its own assets marketplace. Roblox is another Metaverse platform, right? It's an online gaming similar to Sandbox and game creation systems that has gradually evolved into a metaverse platform that offers a wide variety of virtual experiences to its users, including VR ones. Blocktopia, like other metaverse platforms, Blocktopia allows monetization through VR ads, gaming, and real estate ownership, and operates its own cryptocurrency token called Block. Meta is yet to launch a fully viable consumer-facing version of the metaverse. It has launched a few key components to date, such as Horizon Worlds for content creation and its present platform for designing naturalized immersive experiences. So you can see that all of these metaverse platforms have their own peculiarity. They have little features that makes them different and makes them unique. So if you are a gamer and you really want to create games and sell them, you want to create gaming elements and sell, you can actually do that on the Sandbox. Or you want to just play and earn, you can do that also on the Sandbox. So who has invested in the metaverse already? So I think for me, when I first heard about the metaverse, I was concerned to know who are the major players, who are the key players on the metaverse, right? So that, for me, that would actually encourage me to say, okay, if A and B have invested in metaverse, it means there's something they have seen that I am yet to see or I can't see. So that in a way points me to the direction. It helps me see the direction the whole metaverse project is going. So you can see Atari is on the metaverse. They've invested heavily. Samsung already has a store. I think it's on the Sandbox Metaverse or Decentraland, on one of those metaverse platforms too. And then Adidas are already doing awesome NFT projects. You can see the nice shoes, the caps, and all of that. Awesome projects. PricewaterhouseCoopers, Prager Metis, Miller Lite, all these guys. You can see even Sandbox already have large land parcels, and then Atari also about 3. You can see this dude. I love you, Lisa. So you can actually get all of these land parcels, buy them, and choose to do whatever you want to do with them. You can see Snoop Dogg is a major investor on the metaverse platform already. I think this is Sandbox. So you can actually buy a land parcel. You can buy a land for yourself, choose to do whatever. You can build your house on it, build an exhibition hall, event space, or a social gathering, whatever. You can choose to do whatever you want to do. In fact, some people buy land parcels and just use them to make money. They advertise, they give them out for adverts. So there's so much. The opportunities on the metaverse platform is just numerous. Yes, so like I said earlier, I would be streamlining. Subsequently, I'll be making videos streamlined to land sales, and then how the best deals you can get on the metaverse platform, and then real estate on the metaverse platform, and then architectural opportunities for architects, especially on the metaverse platform. So if all of that excites you, there are things that resonate with what you want, I'd like you to again hit the subscribe button. You can do that now. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon so that you would always be notified every time I drop a new video. There are a plethora of opportunities on the metaverse, and I don't want you to miss out. I believe you don't want to miss out yourself. So I would want you to hit the subscribe button, and let's get to it.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yes, well, we've said a lot of good things about the metaverse, a lot of opportunities that are out there, but the truth is, whatever has a good side would certainly have its own extreme, like its own negatives. Yes, so well, what are the goods of? Let me just highlight quickly the good sides of the metaverse, the advantages. How does the metaverse help us? Number one is connecting the world better and eliminating physical distance. Yes, so like I mentioned earlier, you might be needed in a distant place, and maybe you can't make it, or you can just take advantage of the metaverse and have an immersive experience, so it just eliminates physical distance. So you can actually be in Zimbabwe and do your presentation in Australia without actually traveling to Australia. So like I said, it's going to also, number two, is going to give us this immersive experience. Everything we do now on the physical world, connecting to the digital space, we're going to have a more immersive experience, be it games, be it sports, entertainment, commerce, events, socializing, and all of that. It's going to be more immersive. Better social interactions, yes, I mentioned that earlier. Upgrading the social media, new business opportunities, like I highlighted. There are numerous business opportunities, and that's why I am going to dedicate my time to do a lot of research on real estate and land deals on the Metaverse platforms, and I'll be posting all of that, so you'd be able to take part on the Metaverse. Improvements to online learning and education. Yes, like the COVID-19 pandemic has launched us into this reality now, so people can actually learn. We already have people taking their BScs, their PhDs online. So with the Metaverse, you're going to even have a more immersive experience. You could be here in Nigeria or in South Africa and taking classes in the US. So you can have positive impact. We're going to have positive impact on cryptocurrencies and NFTs. I mean, the prices for NFTs just jumped the regards, and people are all creating NFTs right now. People are taking their skills. Creatives are now being paid their value. People now have more value for their creation, right? And then look at the value for mana. That's the native token for Decentraland. The prices, how the prices just jumped, and sand as well for Sandbox. All of those, they're just increasing. So that's because of the buzz that just came with the announcement Mark Zuckerberg made. So it just made the prices, it made all of these Metaverse platforms popular, and then the prices for their native token also jumped. New opportunities to financial gains, improvements to new work environments. Yes. So what are the ugly sides? What are the bad sides of the Metaverse? Cybercrime, negative impact on societies and cultures, addiction problems. Yes, that's a major one for me. Like if you've seen this episode of the Simpsons, Lisa's daughter, that's Zia had this addiction problem where she would always prefer to connect to the virtual world than the physical world. So we're going to have that problem. We're going to have a lot of people preferring to spend 24 hours of their time on the Metaverse. So it's going to eventually create this disconnect from the physical world to the digital world. Mental health issues. So if you spend 24 hours wearing a headgear, I mean, it's going to be too much, and it will lead to mental health issues. Privacy and security issues. People would have much privacy anymore. Losing connection with the physical world, right? Virtual bullying, lack of moderation, connection and hardware issues, corporate takeover. Yes, so like lack of moderation, actually. All of these platforms are built on the blockchain technology, so they won't be really moderated or controlled so much the way the authorities control things in the physical. So we're going to have a lot of all of these negatives showing up, right? So but then eventually I believe the more it evolves, it gets better. All of these negatives are going to be curbed, and then I believe there are going to be control measures by individuals, by institutions, and some of these Metaverse platform creators. Investing in the Metaverse. Well, this is one part that excites me a lot. So there are I'm going to be talking about 4 investment opportunities on the Metaverse. I mean, this is the baby stage of the Metaverse. I believe eventually we're going to have more opportunities for people to invest, but right now I'm going to be talking about 4 investment opportunities. Number 1 is Metaverse token. Like I mentioned, for Decentraland you have Mana, Sandbox you have Sand, Blocktopia, yes, Blocktopia or Roblox you have Block, right? So but you can invest in Metaverse tokens. So what it means is you can buy and hold, you can buy and trade, you can just buy and keep, because eventually over the years, over time, the value for those tokens is going to rise. Yes, so Metaverse tokens are virtual currencies used to make digital transactions within the Metaverse. So you buy them, you can buy the Metaverse tokens and then use to do transactions in the Metaverse, within the Metaverse ecosystem. since they are built on the blockchain, transactions on underlying networks are secure and near instant. So it's just like this, like transactions are like this. So Metaverse stocks, you can also invest in Metaverse stocks. You can buy the stocks of some of these companies, like Meta, for example. You can buy the stocks of Meta. You can, if you check for before the announcement, you can check the price for Facebook before the announcement was made of the name change to Meta. You would see that, you'll see the price change. So you can buy stocks of these companies, and then of course eventually in the future the prices would rise. Again, I am not a financial advisor. I would expect you to do your due diligence, do your own research, and make your decisions on that ground. In-game NFTs, there are two ways to invest when it comes to gaming in the metaverse, right? Using in-game assets to play to earn, buying and selling in-game assets. So for the gamers, people who play game a lot, they would understand this. So there are instances where you would buy weapons, you buy elements, items on the metaverse, on the game. So you will need to buy those, and then eventually if you want to sell, I mean, it's business, so you sell to make your own profit. Virtual land, I like this part. Sandbox and Decentraland are the big players in the virtual land scene, and they have already begun selling digital real estate in NFTs in their respective metaverse ecosystems. Like I mentioned earlier, these guys are already cashing out big. A lot of people are already buying metaverse land parcels, but building, already doing a lot of crazy things. I mean, artists are selling and all of that. So you can actually buy a virtual land, yes, on either of these 7 metaverse platforms, and then sell. Eventually you can use them to advertise, you can use them to create event spaces, and people would actually pay you to use some of those your facility, to use your NFT, your digital land facility. So again, this is not a financial advice. I would expect you to do your own research and make your decision on whatever findings you're able to make. Money in the metaverse. The question is, are we using the South African rand? Are we using the Nigerian naira? Are we using the Australian dollar? So like I mentioned earlier, all of these metaverse platforms have their native tokens. So you would eventually need to have their native tokens to hold transactions in this metaverse, within the metaverse platforms, right? So metaverse platforms have opened new avenues for business. There is potential in advertising, hosting online events, e-commerce, and the supporting hardware industry. But what hardware industry? But what does money look like in the virtual universe? How do you buy land and set up stores? And what do you need to make purchases in the metaverse? So first, what you're going to need is a crypto wallet. You're going to need a crypto wallet. Crypto wallet would be your platform to make exchanges, like, well, they are centralized wallet and decentralized wallet. So you can choose any one you want, a decentralized wallet or a centralized wallet. So but on either of these platforms, that's where you can change your dollar, that's where you can change your South African rand or any other currency to a digital asset to buy any cryptocurrency, and then you can use that to do transactions on the metaverse. So that's what money looks like in the metaverse. You're not using your physical money, your paper, you're not using any of that. You have to transform it to a crypto token, to a metaverse token, to be able to do transactions, to buy and sell or within the metaverse platforms, right? So yes, metaverse tokens. Since metaverse platforms are built on blockchain technology, each of them needs a native cryptocurrency to facilitate transactions on the platform. Such metaverse associated cryptos coins are called Metaverse tokens. Just the way you travel to Zimbabwe, you need the Zimbabwe currency to actually do transactions. You travel to Canada, you need a Canadian dollar to do transactions. You travel to South Africa, you're going to need the South African rand to do transactions. It's the same thing. That's what happens on the metaverse. You're going to need the native token of that metaverse ecosystem to do transactions. So Ether is the native token of the Ethereum networks, and is one of the most used cryptocurrencies to make purchases in the metaverse. So it's like dollar is like one of the mostly used currency. So you can use dollar to do transactions like globally, So Ethereum on the metaverse ecosystem, the whole metaverse ecosystem, is what dollar is, right? So mana is of course the native token for Decentraland. So you need mana to buy land, to buy wearables, to buy avatars and other accessories on the Decentraland ecosystem. Sand, as mentioned earlier, this is the native token of the Sandbox platform and works in similar fashion as mana. So the way you use mana on Decentraland, that's how you use sand on Sandbox, right? Then AXS, this is the native token associated with the gaming platform Axie Infinity. Not only can users buy these tokens on crypto exchanges, but they can also earn them by breeding in-game pets called Axies. So you make AXS on their play and earn games now. So you can actually play a game and earn and eventually convert them to cryptocurrencies and then to USDT and then make withdrawals. So you can actually make money playing games right now. Yes, you can make money playing games. Virtual land. So this is just like an introduction to subsequent videos I'll be making on land purchase and then real estate on the metaverse. Metaverse real estate is already big business. Superstars including Snoop Dogg and global businesses including PwC, JP Morgan, HSBC and Samsung have already snapped up plots of virtual land which they intend to develop for a variety of purposes. Like I mentioned, you can actually use you can buy a land and use it for anything. You can do anything you want with the land. It's all about you. You could see someone bought a land and there he posted, "I love you, Lisa." So we have people getting married on the metaverse already. So the metaverse has come to stay, I believe. Those who got in early have already made big returns. Actually, on paper, at least less than a year ago, the average price for the smallest plot of land available to buy on Decentraland or the Sandbox, two of the biggest metaverse platforms, was under $1,000. Today it is sitting at around $13,000. But why buy metaverse land? I mean, it doesn't really make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. Like, someone doesn't have a physical land, but then he has a virtual land. So what happens? What if the system crashes? What if there are a lot of what ifs, So but why buy a metaverse land? Just like buying land in the real world, there are two main reasons you might want to buy land in the metaverse. The first is probably the safest. You want to use it for something such as building a house, to live in, or premises from which you do businesses. An example of this reality is on the Free Guy movie. So on the Free Guy movie, if you've seen the movie, Millie had a stash house, like a warehouse where she had her weaponry, like an arsenal, right? And also Guy had a house in the movie, the movie Free Guy. So people are actually going to secure land parcels for themselves and build homes there, and then also use it for events, use the land for rentable spaces, use them for adverts, use them for all of that. So but that's one of the reasons I believe people can actually buy land. So but it's all up to you. It makes sense to some, it doesn't make sense to some, but to others. But it's all about business and investments. So do your due diligence and make your decision on that basis. So is this another chance to pick up the hottest and newest digital assets before they blow up? Well, like buying Bitcoin 10 years ago or NFTs 2 years ago, how do you get involved if you want in on the action? Or are you better off keeping your distance from what may end up being an overhyped bubble that's about to collapse? Read on to find out. So for me, like I mentioned earlier, when I first heard about the metaverse, I really wanted to know who is on this. So I saw companies, and I'm still following up on companies and establishments that are heavily investing in it. So you can tell that it's not just some people who just came up with this whole idea and then just to make money, and then but a lot of businesses, people have bought land parcels, people are already doing business on the metaverse. So I think the metaverse has come to stay, and I believe it has a future. And I believe it's still young. So I think it's best for actually one to get in on it. In comparison, Decentraland, the second largest virtual world, saw 21,000 real estate transactions worth $110 million last year. That's 2021. For both virtual worlds, the average, both virtual worlds meaning Sandbox and Decentraland now, the average investment in land was about $5,300. But as the report notes, prices have grown considerably from an average of $100 per land in January 2021 to $15,000 in December 2021, with rapid growth in the fourth quarter when the Sandbox Alpha was released. So you can see in just a year, the price change in just a year, right? The Sandbox is the largest virtual world in terms of transaction volumes, with 65,000 transactions in virtual land. 65,000 in transactions on virtual land alone, totaling $350 million in 2021. It is a virtual land composed of 166,464 parcels of 96 by 96 meters, representing a virtual world of 40 kilometers by 40 kilometers, where participants can play games and participate in virtual experiences. So you can see that the transactions, the statistics actually don't lie, the numbers don't lie. So you can see transactions crazily increasing, and then purchases on land alone, that's crazy, right? So my final thoughts, find your place in the developing new world. If you are interested, of course, you can invest, you can consume, or you can spectate. So all of that. You can choose to invest in the 4 arms of investment opportunities I mentioned, or you can just, to consume would be for you to just participate, get your Oculus headgear and just hang out with friends, and you can spectate. Spectate is just to, sit on the sideline and just watch. Ultimately, the metaverse still has a long way to go before it's fully optimized. I believe that many of the pros will develop into something even greater than we can fathom today. On the flip side though, the cons are still a concern, but many of the potentially bad things to come from the development of the metaverse may diminish over time as it becomes fully optimized. At the end of the day, the decision is always in the hands of the people, not the technology. Meaning, if you don't find value in what the metaverse has to offer, don't use it. It's that simple. So you can make your decision, do your own research, and then for crazy investors, that would really want to jump on the opportunity, I advise you to do your due diligence, do your own research, and then get in early. Like I said earlier, I'll be doing a lot of videos on real estate on the metaverse, and then how to buy lands, how to get the best deals on the metaverse, and even, who knows, how to get free lands on the metaverse subsequently. So I'd like you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Really, it will mean a lot to me. So and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.